Badum. Why is Ron frozen? Is it me or is it you? That's funny. Ron, what are you doing? Why are you leaving me hanging? Man.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I was like, what's going on? We just started and you're messing it up already.
Yeah, but I have no idea where that happened, but I think we're okay now. What's up, Benjamin?
Yeah, I do have a new background, as you can tell, which does not happen very often. I do not change backgrounds as much as you do, my friend.
You do not, because you do not change cities as much as you do, but you have changed it for this episode. Where are you, Benjamin? Please tell us.
I am in the wonderful city of Cape Town. I am in South Africa. I am on, as they call it these days, workation. Working here, but also having a good time and escaping the bad weather in Germany. And
Mhm.
it's lovely.
That is good. I will be doing the same. In fact, this is my last episode from Berlin for this year.
Hmm.
I am off. Well, assuming I get my negative COVID test, which I'm still waiting for, but I'm off to India, so there will be plenty more interesting backgrounds to come.
Are you going to change it every week or are you going to keep it somewhat stable?
I will take a call. I think from my home has a nice background. You've seen it before with a bookshelf and all of that stuff, but there will be some travel, so we'll see. We'll see what I get to.
I want it surprise me from time to time. I want to have some new spectacular backgrounds.
I will do my best.
Great.
Speaking of spectacular, how is the news looking for this week?
You want to get right to it. All right, all right, all right. That's
Always,
one thing.
man.
If you guys have questions, comments, whatever, let us know. All right, we are jumping right into it. We are talking about Formula E and COP26, also known as the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. We thought it's time to speak about an important topic with you guys. We have not really covered it properly, I would say. We're speaking about sustainability, our planet, not to be too bad to the environment. You guys are watching sports, it should be relevant for you as well. And yeah, one of the front runners for years now is obviously Formula E because they do not use the normal petrol, they run electricity based, as you guys know. And at that conference, the CEO of Formula E, yeah, again has emphasized the role that the Formula E is playing, and saying that they are leading the change basically towards some change for other sports as well. And I mean, if we talk about the Bundesliga saying they want to be CO2 neutral, some other sports going to the same directions, many new events happening that are discussing how sports can be more sustainable, do not contribute to the climate change that is obviously there. That is a really important topic. I'm not sure if there's anything specific that you wanted to highlight from this article, Ron. Just quickly
Yeah,
asking.
just yeah, most of it was the fact that to bring awareness to this topic, which I think is
Yeah.
a good one. Number one, but number two, Formula E has been the leader, the first ever sports, let's say, league or event which is carbon net zero emissions. They were carbon neutral already last year, I believe, in October of 2020 is when they announced it. So they've been leading that change, and there is also at the same event at COP26, which I have a question about. I don't know why it's called COP26. Like, what is C? I was looking for it. Did you find anything?
No, like the abbreviation does not make any sense
Yeah.
to me. I mean,
Also
the
26, not 21.
26 means that it's the 26th
Edition.
edition,
Yeah,
but COP, I'm not even sure. No.
I couldn't get that. Anyway, if somebody knows, please let us know. But no, so at the same conference, FIFA also made a commitment that the World Cup, which we actually have a good story about today, will be net zero emissions. Sorry, not this World Cup. By 2040, it'll be net zero emissions. But they are going to showcase some stuff at this World Cup, is their plan as well. So yeah, more and more sports. I know Formula One has been investing a lot to get to net zero. Yeah, for if Formula E can do it, then they have to kind of do it. Otherwise, it's difficult for them to justify their presence. So yeah, most sports committing to being carbon neutral, which is great to see.
Yep, and they even have a new FIFA climate strategy. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in that, it's a 20 pages PDF where they are detailing their plans, what they do, of course, and what they're planning to do in the future for climate-related measures. Yep,
Yeah, I remember reading actually a really good podcast. Oh, sorry, listening to a really good podcast. Yeah,
I
thanks.
was hearing this great book as well. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, that you can do, but but reading podcasts probably not so much. Um, but no, which was about the impact of the reformatted euros, um, and how it was spread in countries, and which is great. And in some ways, it reduces travel because fans are not moving, but it increases the travel of teams significantly. So the carbon impact of format and the pros and cons of different things. So lots of interesting conversations taking place with regard to yeah, basically helping create a cleaner environment. Really interesting that I think it's a topic that we will cover. See if there are good, interesting developments for us to bring.
and interesting startups as well. There's some cool ones out there. One was
True.
interesting. Just mention that before we come to the next topic,
Yep.
that they have a special ground that they put around venues, and the visitors just by walking over that
Generating
specific ground,
electricity.
they're generating. Yeah, exactly. So that
Yeah.
energy is then used to, yeah, to fuel the stadium, so to speak.
Super cool stuff. Yeah, lots of great innovation in this space. All right, that was a nice little green story to start the day. And from there, we're going to go white because we're going to go to ice hockey. All right, this is a bit of a press release, so bear with me. It's not so much of a news story in as much as it's Catapult making an announcement about their latest offering, which is a goalie performance tracking. Um, and I mean, I won't get too much into the story because it's Catapult. It's a company that we know. They're great at athlete tracking, and but this is their debut of a hockey goaltender analytics solution. And the most interesting thing for me, and which is why I wanted to bring this up, Ben, is that it's the first time that there is an entire solution catered to just one player or one position on any sport that I certainly know of. And it's interesting because the article goes on to talk about how goalies, which is the only player in on the ice rink who doesn't change, is on the field of play the entire time, and yet they are underserved when it comes to analytics. Yeah, the goalie is the only athlete that plays the entire game. Now, for the first time, they can quantify what is the actual work done by this position. It's developed obviously with a lot of insights from customers, but what kind of metrics are available? Down count, how many times? A lot of these I have to, I'll be completely honest, I do not understand. I do not watch much of ice hockey, but what is goalie load per minute, their asymmetry, how much they move in either direction. A lot of these are interesting metrics, which will probably be interesting to the players and the people following the sport. What I found most interesting that this is the first time that I know of an entire solution being built for one position. And what kind of trend does that set up? I'm sure there's been analytics which are tricks which are for specific positions. Strikers metrics are different from defenders metrics in football, for example. But an entire solution which is catered to, hey, when you buy us, we only focus on your strikers. For example, I haven't seen that before. Maybe this is the start of that kind of trend.
Yeah, good one, and definitely an important position in the game for many sports.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I just tried to remember. Wasn't there some solution for quarterbacks for American football? I remember there were some. I know you said like solutions that are entirely or specifically built for a certain position. I think there was some practice device of, I don't know, that helps a quarterback to catch a ball and throw it, or something like this. But
Maybe.
yeah, it's definitely very rare. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's the time now that companies have to dive deeper, go
Yeah.
yeah, into certain positions to also stand out from the pack, right?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's about these incremental gains, like these micro gains, which can make all the difference. Like we're seeing all of that in various sports. We have different coaches for different positions. I think there was an English League Two team, which is the first to ever have a official substitutes coach, a coach who's exclusively for the players that are on the
Nice.
bench. His job is to make sure the entire bench is prepared. He works only with them from 2 days before the match day to the day of the match day. So, very interesting, like these increased
I like it.
specializations.
Yeah, it's like special teams in American football.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
I was watching a YouTube video. I got it right this time. About this. It was from Tifo, one of my favorite channels. But explaining about this substitutes coach, first ever. Yeah, interesting one.
I mean, reminds me immediately of Klopp and Liverpool having the what do you call it, throw in.
Yep.
What do you call it? Is throw in the right term? Like go
Long
for
throw
it.
coach, yeah. I mean, it was actually Sam Allardyce at Bolton who started the trend. He didn't have a coach, but he had a designated team or player, and he used to set up set pieces for that. And then Klopp took it further. Now United has one. Everybody has a dedicated set pieces, long throws, stuff like that. But a coach is substitutes coach. All sorts of new stuff.
Speaking about a different kind of coach, I cannot use any analogy with your great color from green to
That
white.
was fine. That was a decent segue, Ben. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, nice. But I have some sort of, I wouldn't even say coach, but support. Let me show you what I'm doing. We are speaking about this tweet, and it looks so innocent, but there's a lot behind it. This is obviously the Nike.com official page, and there's a little teaser video. It's not long, it's a minute and something. And it's about Nike using the augmented reality glasses of Snapchat, now Snap.inc. And what they're promising is that there are no more boring runs. And I'm going to play this video. Hope it's not so loud. Wait a sec. Should turn off the sound here. And maybe I should make this a bit bigger. Hope you can see this. Yeah, so you are running, and obviously, because you're using AR glasses, some things pop up along the way. First, it's this pigeon with Nike shoes. Whatever a pigeon needs Nike shoes for. But it's also cool stuff like this, like animations that makes you potentially go into a sprint, that reward you with some sort of special effects. Then you have motivational messages like keep going, Nicole Ricketts, that's obviously the lady who's running, and a bunch of other stuff like making your path look super futuristic. I guess all in order to unbore your run. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club would not enjoy this so much. But yeah, overall, enrich the experience that you have. If you see stuff like this, obviously some people would say, oh, doesn't it make it more dangerous? You will be, I don't know, looking up in the air and not watching the traffic and all of that. And I'm sure we're gonna have some stories where people got injured through this. But overall, I find this very interesting. Yeah, like I said, not sure about that bird with the Nike shoes, but enriching your experience, motivating you is a good thing or not. Ron.
Yeah, I think the bird was Nike Air. Was somewhere around there's some better joke in there actually. It was a pretty poor attempt. No, I think about the accidents piece. Yeah, you're right. There will be some incidents for sure, but I can't imagine it's much more. Like we've already dealt with that way with Pokemon Go and people diving into traffic to try and capture stuff and getting hurt or even dying as a result. So we're in this age where AR, the way more it interacts with real life, these are the repercussions of it. How that is to be countered, smarter people than probably you and I will have solutions for that. But the reality is that it is to stay. The interesting use of the collaboration with Snapchat, it didn't feel like much of a collaboration. Actually, it was just a solution built on or an app, let's say, built for Snap's AR glasses. My interesting thing was the glasses themselves. They didn't look too bad. a bit blocky and stylistically okay, but I think it's been better than some of the other stuff that I've seen. The rest of it about the solution itself, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love to run because I like to run. I'm not sure that I would definitely try it out, but I don't really see myself using it. That being said, I definitely see the use case. This is also coming into the theme of exercise merging with gaming, because you can totally imagine this kind of AR thing where you collect objects along the way and you either whack these birds or pet these birds or do something or the other. But the interaction between gaming and scoring points over your run and bringing that to a sport like running, yeah, I think that's the most important use case, and that is something that that will continue. Yeah, good point about how they've been Nike and the metaverse. We saw a story about this last week as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a new one. I think this came out 3 days ago, and some guys, smart guys with lots of time, went through 3 years of Nike patents and found actually detailed plans of Nike going towards the metaverse. Yeah, last week we heard the news about crypto cakes, the virtual shoes, but they actually, yeah, have established a metaverse studio. They were even going through LinkedIn and checking which of Nike's employees had metaverse in their job description, and found a few here. I don't even know where that was, but I found it really interesting. Yeah, several Nike employees didn't say the exact number. So Nike has a metaverse studio officially now. This is one part of it in the future. So I think they're going to be crazy things waiting for us.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, I read a similar article about Facebook. I think Facebook, there are over 10,000 people now who have
Wow.
either connected to AR or VR related functions within the company. So, yeah, Meta is definitely becoming more and more important. All right.
What's your connect to your topic now?
What's my connect? My connect is
Meta.
actually virtual worlds. We're talking about one of the companies that is most connected to this
Go
topic.
for it.
That was all right. Wait, oh, sorry. I put it on already. Yeah, this is about back to Peloton, who have not been having the best time of it of late, actually. Their quarter-on-quarter earnings have been dropping. They had to
Yeah.
rework their projections for next year. So they're not growing as fast. They're still growing. They're not growing as fast as they were during the pandemic. It's normal as people are returning back to gyms and that. So what are the things that they're offering instead? Well, this is Peloton's new and officially cheapest product. We were waiting for a product from Peloton which will come in at this price point, that $300 to $500 price point. Big jump from their $2,000 bikes and treadmills, which they also have been slashed down to about $1,500. But this is an interesting one. Basically, it's a strength training guide. It's a camera that's connected to your TV, and it watches you. So your workouts are interacting with your TV, which I think is super common now for most connected devices. Much like the mirrors and that, but instead of having a separate thing, this is all in your TV. But the camera is most importantly watching you as you're working out, and giving you guidance. You can see there's a small wearable device on her arm as well, which is connected to the camera and tracking the movement of the body. Most importantly, though, this is Peloton entering strength training. The solution is called Guide. I've mentioned it's set to cost $500. Yeah, sorry. Also to mention, this is not yet out. It'll be released only in early 2022. That is important. So it's not out yet, and there will also be all these packages available. And there's a set-top box which gets attached to TV. This is what it looks like. It says you sign up for early access, transform your room with a TV into a Peloton gym. So there's weights, there's a band, there's a little tracker which is watching you. So this is Peloton moving into strength training. Recently, we had another important company, Freeletics, who raised a lot of money last year. They also have pretty much the same product. Stadium, there is what they call it, which has already been released. Stadium was not even a month old, but this is their strength training product. Yeah, again, there's weights, there's a little device which you connect to your TV, And that's where it all starts from. AI-powered gaming unit compatible with every TV, smart connected equipment designed for your home. Yeah, you can see that device that's on your TV, and there you go. Now, the most important thing to come out of this is that all of these companies are taking strength training, which is weight-based training, as an important thing, as an important function within their business offerings. Tempo has been the leader in this category for a while, Tempo and Tonal, but all of the other players are taking this very seriously. I think also for this price point, it makes sense. Yeah, I think this is actually a product that I would use, to be honest, more than the bikes and the treadmills and that. But get a bit of weight training, put it onto my existing TV, so I don't have like 100 big gadgets to have around my house. Also, the price point. Yeah, I think this could be an interesting offering.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the point. I mean, there's so many interesting devices out there, but they're huge and expensive. And now people are often happy to go back to the gyms again and use those devices there. So I think rather than buying one expensive one, people
Yeah.
potentially prefer going to the gym, using it there, and having more convenience at home, something they can also potentially take with them on vacation and those kind of things. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the time of the big devices is over already. Who knows? It was just a quick glimpse. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I
B2B
really,
and B2C.
really feels like it. No, I mean, I would never. I mean, we talk about Peloton a lot, but to be honest, I could never imagine myself buying one of those huge treadmills or big devices, placing it in the middle of my house, and then yeah, there's no portability to it. All of those things. Maybe that's just me, but like these kind of devices are more my cup of tea.
A random question: do you like the artist that keeps popping up in your ads?
Billie Eilish. No, I was wondering why. What have I been looking at Billie Eilish stuff? Yeah, she's all right. I find her interesting. I'm not a
Alright.
huge fan, but there is something about
Um,
her. I can't put my finger on it. There is something about her.
so the last topic we're speaking about
Let's do it.
is an interesting one. Let me bring it up. And I had to disable my ad blocker in order to watch it. It was complaining. So let's see what kind of ads I get in South Africa. It is about FIFA, as you can see. The video here is totally unrelated. It's a weird page, to be honest. FIFA plans to use robot linesman at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. I wouldn't say that came out of nowhere, but I personally did not know that they're far already. Story is, it seems like they're working with you've read it the same way, right?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Working with Hawkeye. Yeah.
Was Hawkeye. So apparently they have tested it under non-live conditions. Results they're happy with, and now they're ready to test it at the first upcoming tournaments. I think it was where did it say that?
The thing, they started testing it at the Club World Cups. It's going to be tested at some friendlies early next year.
Here, the Formula Live test will
Yeah.
be backed for the Club World Cup with Chelsea, for example. And if it's going to be approved, it will go to the World Cup next year and also being rolled out in the Premier League for the start of the 2023-24 season. To take one step back, what does it actually do? So they're using Hawkeye. And the interesting thing is what exactly they do. And they use a skeletal modeling of all the players with a total of 29 points of the bodies of each player, which are tracked. And this skeletal view allows them to see who is actually offside or not. They're speaking about a semi-automated system because I think there's still a few seconds in between the offside position and then the reaction. But same as with goal line technology, as far understood it, the referee will get a ping on their watch, and then they can double check with VAR or on a screen. So I think that's why it's called semi-automated. But to me, it almost sounds automated, to be honest. The advantage, according to the article, is that it's accurate with 4 centimeter, and unlike VAR, you're not dependent on the camera angle that you get in order to check it, but you have that skeletal model, so it can precisely say if it was offside or not. So I think it's really cool, and I think it's gonna, if it works well, I think it's gonna be automated, same as goal line technology. What do you think?
Yeah, as you said, there's no loss of any frames or any even half a second, which is in between frames, no matter what 4 or 8K that we're shooting at. There is some gap between the frame, 2 frames of a shot, which will be eradicated by this. But for me, what was a really interesting takeaway, if you come to the last line of this article, it says that the viewers will now be able to hear the conversation between, yeah, not that far. There will be VAR conversations between the referee. It was just there. Anyway, we'll be able to hear them. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this this is an interesting ruling as well. They had initially allowed it, especially at least in the Premier League, I know, where you could hear the referees making the decision, and that created a lot of, let's say, negative buzz, because people were like, it seemed like the referees didn't know what they were doing on some occasions, because it was still the early days, and they're like, where's the line, and they were drawing squiggly lines, all sorts of nonsense. But in a lot of other sports, cricket, for example, you can hear the complete conversation as the referee, video referee is reviewing it. Rugby's had this for years, and you are with the referee through the decision making process, but now they will expand that to the normal VAR as well. So not only will we have robot linesmen, but wherever we are going to the linesmen and the referees, we will be more in their minds and hear the decision as it's being made.
Speaking about hearing the decision, there was one other very interesting article that I've seen. It was the International Boxing Association. Again, I wonder why they put the A in the abbreviation. Maybe you know why. They use AI technology not to support their referees, but actually to check on them and to avoid manipulation. So apparently, they are using military-approved artificial intelligence to screen the judges and referees at the World Championships. So what this AI actually does is it analyzes the voice of the referees when they are communicating their decisions and giving the points and all that. And based on the voice, they can tell if somebody is manipulating, so actually saying what they are convinced of or not. And in order to optimize this, they get asked a bunch of questions before they actually do their refereeing, or whatever you want to call that. And they get asked questions like, have you ever cheated in a boxing event? And something like this. So they measure their reactions to also, obviously, to some questions that they know that are true. And based on this, the AI tells if a referee is like neutral and actually judging the fight properly.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I didn't know about that. But while you asked, I quickly looked it up. The A in the IBA is actually association. It's because the full form is French. It's Association Internationale des Boxe Amateurs. Yeah,
Je
like
comprends.
FIFA, all of these are basically based in Switzerland, so all the full forms come from French, which is why the reordering is not for English. But that's a smaller learning. The story is more interesting, I think.
I agree. And that is us for today, as far as I know.
Feels like somebody turned off the lights in your room, Ben.
No, it's getting dark. I'm 1 hour ahead of you guys.
Yeah, I know, but we started somewhere and it's gone completely go. But
Yeah.
I hope you have plenty of time in the sun and enjoy Cape Town, my friend.
Thank you. And I hope that your COVID test arrives in time.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
Corona point. Come on, guys, come through.
And yeah, we're all curious which background you're going to present to us in a week from now.
We'll find something interesting.
All right, then that is us for today. Have a good day, good evening, everyone. See you next week. Cheers.
Ciao.